Nothing in this world I would keep. Lying in the deep. Something underwater that breathes, never sleeps. In me, I won't lose, it won't stray, and no ocean can wash me away. I won't lose, it won't stray, only oceans crashing away. I am underneath, the surface feels more like a dream. In my reverie, something above water that takes hold of me. I am free. I won't lose, it won't stray, and no ocean can wash me away. I won't lose, it won't stray, only oceans crashing their waves. Yeah, I'm alone. I am not afraid. 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 I won't lose, it won't stray, and no ocean can wash me away. I won't lose, it won't stray, only oceans crashing away. Yeah, I won't lose, it won't stray, and no ocean can wash me away. I won't lose, it won't stray, only oceans crashing away.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into BCP 400 for Mania Club. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Yeah, round of applause. Guys, as you just saw, that was This Wolf performing an acoustic version of No Ocean. Thank you guys for being a part of the show, a part of this cause, again, for Mania Club, for Connor's Cure. Got to shout out our friends at Mania Club. Guys, donate in the link below. It'll be in the description. Also in the comments, please donate. Put BCP 400 next to your donation to help us tally how much we raise during the show and throughout the week. And this is all to fight against pediatric cancer. We've worked with Mania Club and Connor's Cure before.
Such a good cause.
It's what it's all about. And guys, thank you. We tried to put together a great show for you guys. Of course, we got to shout out our sponsors, Funkenstein Wrestling Superstore, our favorite store. Thank you for always
Hi, Heather. Hi,
the show.
Dan.
You guys, happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas. Guys, it's Happy New Year. We're 2023. Goodest
Crazy.
brother. What a year. 2022 was great. We're going into 2023. We got to talk to some of our favorite people, man.
We got to talk to some of our heroes, Johnny Gargano, and we got to talk to some amazing people I never thought we'd get to talk to. We got to meet some amazing people. We got to talk to amazing people that are already in our lives. Can't beat it, man.
I love it, man. And I think and I said this to you earlier, man, it's one of my favorite things about doing this is I feel like it's never about us, man. It's selfishly, I love getting to sit down and talk with our heroes, whether it be a Ghostbuster, an actor, a voice actor, a professional wrestler, and at the same time give a spotlight to indie talent, whether it be music or wrestling, and using our platform for a great cause. And there's no one I'd rather do it with than with you, man. I hate doing interviews without you, man. We need the charisma. I know he loves.
I got kicked off. Let's be honest.
A moment of Chris. Not true. Not true. We were renegotiating the contract. That being said, guys, please donate to the cause. Mania Club. Please, $1, $2. You know the deal. It's a season of giving right now. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Share the stream, and let's take a look back at some of our best moments from BCP 2022.
Mr. Bill Botkin from the poprate.com, #DadInstincts. What's up, handsome? You look tired.
Tired. I'm hurt. I'm old. I work with fucking children. Just trying to run a fucking business around here. Anyone got a muffin?
Can you do Adam Sandler since we were talking about Billy Madison?
All I see at this table is coffee. Oh, and I didn't see Captain Insano out here. Captain Insano, if you're watching, I often notice that when you're out there opening up a can of whoop ass, as you like to say, or wrestling or opening up a can of whoop ass, as you like to say, I often notice that you start sweating quite profusely. So I was wondering if you'd like the services of an experienced water boy.
Arnold goes, bunch of studs out here. It's like Stud Union. Let me get something for Stud Union.
Has Portnoy stopped by the shop? Have you gotten the one bite review from Portnoy or?
Let me tell you something.
David
Portnoy,
no!
If you are coming to my restaurant, I'm gonna get you in the camel clutch, break you on the back.
My God.
He's gonna humble you. All the country away. David Portnoy, I make a best of pizza.
Wow, I think you just called out Dave Portnoy.
That's
wow.
all right.
Well, we'll see what happens with that. You and Ciampa had arguably one of the best long-term storylines, nearly perfect in recent memory.
It made me fall in love with wrestling again, to be honest. It really, it's hard to organically make a storyline where it's literal good versus literal evil, where you're not cheering the bad guys like, oh, he's a cool heel. Yep. No. Like everybody was behind you and everybody was booing Ciampa. Yeah. And it's hard to create that organically. And I remember watching it as it was happening. I was like, this is amazing. Like, this is what I love about wrestling, and that's what drew me to you.
And I don't think you get that nowadays anymore, really.
Yeah,
we were extremely lucky.
Yes.
And I believe everything happens for a reason. Timing worked out to where Tommaso was able to leave and get surgery during the time period to where the convention's over, by the way. He went to go get surgery, and people had to wait for the match as opposed to it just being immediate. So it ended up working out to where...
I was about to say, it worked out great.
It worked out so fantastic because then I ended up having the match with Andrade.
Yes.
That propelled me to a new height. And then, the turn happened Tommaso came back right after that. So I was already riding high from that match. Yeah. And it's so funny that, if Tommaso doesn't go get surgery after that match, the Andrade match never happens.
Wow.
And
which is
it's
crazy to think about.
Where, also, if Drew doesn't get hurt in the match with Andrade, where he lost the title to Andrade, then me versus Andrade doesn't happen either. So there's so many different parts and pieces. You take one thing out. There is a different timeline somewhere to where none of this happened. So
well, luckily we're in the happy timeline.
We are in the best timeline, the brightest timeline.
I would definitely love to wrestle Mox. Yeah, I think that would be a good match. A match that you didn't know that you wanted to see, but you want to see now. I saw him size me up a couple of times. Backstage. There's mutual respect, but I did see him size me up. So I did see you, Mox. So I got my eye on you too.
Bon Jovi, when you're in the gym listening to Bon Jovi, it just makes you want to hit the weights harder. Okay. And you reach your max when you're hitting Bon Jovi.
Oh, man. Well, ladies, thank you so much for taking the time. Tell everyone where they can... Wow. We'll end it on that. Yeah, that's pun disputed.
Your uncouth talent started berating me, yelling at me.
Fight forever.
Total disregard for all the other...
You tell her, Nyla.
In this environment. They started yelling at me. Why? Why would they yell at me? I don't know.
Get her, Nyla. Get her.
Now I got a hat.
Okay, first of all, you hit me. First of all, we're doing two things. She's doing a project for her school. Thank you very much, guys. You should follow me on Twitter, Thunderosa22, on Instagram, Thunderosa22.
You should do that.
And buy my stuff on
Pro Wrestling Tees.
Yeah, and maybe you should have a picture of me on your phone before you ask me for a favor. But yes, I said I was gonna beat her up because she has a picture on her home screen of my arch enemy, Britt Baker. But whatever, go and call Britt Baker and see what she says in Dusty's program.
I'm sorry. It's just.
Let's get to the question. Come like yes, ready? From here. Yeah, Kimmy. No.
Happens when Nyla Rose is left unattended with paint markers.
CM Punk thinks he's this Terry Funk-like veteran, this old man. You know what? I don't know Terry Funk very well, but I can tell you he wouldn't have pulled that shit. Terry Funk would have taken that business and he would have handled it himself. What CM Punk did was he acted like a little boy. He acted like a little bitch. Hit Row being like the Infinity Stone. You brought fucking Top Dollar back. That guy couldn't play backup tight end for the Giants. He got cut by them. He's not even the best part. Did you see his awesome running knee he does where he flips over the top? It looks like shit. The best guy in Hit Row is in AEW.
Bray Wyatt is over. People love cheering for Bray Wyatt. I love cheering for Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt is the monster in a monster movie. And guess what? You don't buy tickets to Halloween to see if Laurie's going to live. You buy tickets to Halloween to see if Laurie's going to die. You buy tickets to Friday the 13th to see how many people Jason is going to just decapitate. You love monsters. Bray Wyatt, in every version of what he is a monster, and we love rooting for him. We do not love rooting for Karrion Kross. These two are going to feud, and it's going to be weird psychopath versus weird psychopath, and it's going to be wonderful.
Funkenstein Wrestling Superstore. Jeff Cannonball. It just tells how much fun you're having right now on the independents, working with everyone.
I love working with Tommy Fierro. Tommy Fierro's great. I love his store, The Wrestling Collector. If you haven't been there, you have to, in Stockholm, New Jersey. It's amazing. And just being a part of these shows and working with Maven and Danny Morrison and you, like, you know, and like, it's been a lot of fun, you know? And you guys are like friends and family. It's amazing just to see your journey and ride, and Vicious Vicky and have. It's like she's amazing coming back from that injury, and we're going to see her tonight. So
very proud of her.
I'm loving it. I love working with this company, and the fans are great. Being here today with all these 80s legends is amazing. So,
luckily for JC Storm tonight, it's not a belt that I've ever had, but it is also a title that I am so deserving of and so ready to make everybody know at Pro Wrestling Magic who Vicious Vicky really is. Because you might love me, you might hate me, but I am royalty. I am gold. Everything that I touch turns to gold. Even you.
Well, good luck tonight, Vicious. Thank you for your time.
There's a difference between me and Rick. Rick wants to be champion. I need to be champion. You know the difference between need and want. Like, you need to breathe air, you need to drink water, you need to eat, and instead of you wanting to eat, there's a difference. And I need to be champion just for the simple fact that I'm addicted to the limelight. This is no stranger to anybody. This is no stranger. Anybody that knows me, anyone who sees my social media, they know I'm all about the glitz and the glam. I'm addicted to the limelight. I'm addicted to the fame, what it brings, the women, the cars, the extra money, you know, the extra shows, whatever it is, extra trips. I'm addicted to all of that. And the problem is that Rick has something that I want.
Mac, I'm going to smack you so goddamn hard. I'm going to make you think you tagging with Dan Maff again, and it's 2006. I'm telling you, brother, I'm going to bring something out of you. I'm going to light a fire under that ass, Mac. I'm going to make you feel it. You see, you tried to give shots. You tried to give this same spotlight to men that stood next to me. You tried to give the rub to other men. And I sat there every single one of those shows for the past 2 years, and I knew you was giving it to the wrong man. Every man you stepped into that ring with, I said, they're doing it wrong. This ain't it.
Maybe you can mend things with Steve. I know we talked about that earlier. Maybe you can just...
I don't care about Steven. You want to know what my support system is? Look right there. That's my support system. This is the validation I need to do what I do day in and day out.
For us to blend, rock and roll and theater and pro wrestling in such a seamless way, it was amazing. It was truly a pinnacle of my career. Like, I've been in the WWE, I've been around the world, and I've never been part of anything like this. And just the way that Jeremiah and the whole crew was able to blend it so seamlessly, man, and it's hats off to them.
There's always the running joke that it's an indie song because it takes a whole minute for the song to hit before somebody walks out. That. So I didn't want to be that person. So I never used one of their songs because I'm a big believer. I have to wait for that beat to drop or that note to hit before I walk through the curtain. So I always try to find a song that's quick and to the point.
What you can't ever know is how driven a person is, because to get to the next level, to be a wrestler who's wrestling for a living or who wants to get somewhere.
Yeah, right.
You literally have to give up everything and make wrestling first.
I'm seeing that. I see people who do that, and I'm getting that.
Yeah, there is no exception. If you think you're going to be the exception, you're listening to this at home, and you think you're going to be the exception, I promise you're not. You have to put wrestling first if you want it to be a career. That's all there is to it.
And it can happen.
It absolutely can happen.
My dad he had cancer and was, on his way out. Okay. Oh. And about 2 months before he died, I got to come home, man, and walk in the house and say, "Hey, Dad, check this out," and hold the WWF light heavyweight title up.
That's awesome. That's so cool.
Dude, we cried and hugged. He was like, "Oh,
that's
my
so
God."
Cool. That's so cool
that
to hear.
That day is the day that I knew I made my father proud of me.
I don't think I'll ever get a chance to do this again, but I might get a little emotional, so don't mind me. I told you I met you a few times in 2019. Uh-huh. Every time has been one of the best days of my life. I'm going to be honest. Your matches, Rebel Heart, everything really pulled me out of a dark place. Yeah. I was going through a lot in 2018, and I heard Rebel Heart, and I was like, "Oh, who is this?" And then I heard Johnny Wrestling, and I was like, "Okay, let me look into him." And then I watched the DIY. What is it? The stab in the back.
Yep.
And even now, when you watch it, it still gets you. Even though you know what's going to happen, it still gets you.
Yeah.
The first match with Andrade in Brooklyn, TakeOver Brooklyn 3. Yep. And then we just rewatched all the takeovers from 2018. And I was just my favorite movie series is Rocky, and I never thought I'd be inspired by anything else. And then watching your matches, and then even now watching your interviews and interacting with you, I'm like, this guy's the best. Like he really lifts me up. And it's embarrassing, but literally, Rebel Heart's my alarm clock. It's my ringtone.
That's awesome.
It always gets me pumped up, and you have a lifelong fan of me, and I will always appreciate you. Thank you so much.
No,
man.
thank you, man. That means the world to me. Come on, dude. That means the world to me, dude. Trust me. Those sort of things are that is what, and I say this to all the young wrestlers out there. This right here is what makes all of the sacrifices and everything worth it. Is hearing that from you, being able to affect people that way. That is really, at the end of the day, what we're on this earth to do. Yeah. So that means the world. Thank you so much for sharing.
All right, guys, back here on the BCP. That was some of our greatest moments from 2022. We'd be burying the lead here if we didn't get to say, Nunes, you got to talk to your favorite active wrestler, I would say today. And that was very cool. We got to go down to Baltimore. Thank you, Mr. Gargano, for doing the drop for the show, taking the time for the interview, signing all our stuff, just really going the extra mile, which he talks about in the interview. But I said to you off air, Nunes, one of our top 4 dream interviews would have been Johnny Gargano. We've been a very pro Gargano show. I've been critical of his heel turn, which he masterfully corrected me on that one. He did a great job. He's killing it. But for you, man, not to go too deep into it, but you had the opportunity to not only sit down and interview your hero, but you got to tell him in one of my favorite moments. I thought we could have been done with the show after that, honestly, no joke.
Seriously, that's it was literally our end game. If the show ended then, it was obviously we want to do more, but if that's a note to end on, you can't really end in a better way. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, but when we were driving back from Baltimore, I'm like, I can't believe this happened. But one of my favorite moments in the heart and soul of the show, Mr. Chris Nunes, you got to talk to Johnny Gargano, who has inspired you and pulled you out of a dark place, which you just said to him, you saw in our best of, and just means a lot to you, man. And what made you want to tell him that in our interview, because it's one of my favorite moments, if not my favorite moment for the show.
It's one of those things where, as I've gotten older, and it's pretty cliche to say, but it's like you only have one go around. You know what I mean? So why not ask one of your heroes, hey, can we have a conversation, whether it's off camera or on camera? Hey, you know, like you might, like I even said in the interview, you might not get an opportunity to talk to this person that, you know, face to face, like that personal. And you might not get to tell people how you truly feel about them, whether how they've affected you, how they've affected your life, just in general. Like Johnny always says, like, give people their flowers now while they're alive, not after they pass away. And I've really taken that into heart. I've taken that into my everyday life. I feel like people in your life should be appreciated. And it's one of those things where if you see an opportunity, you know, what's the worst that can happen? You know, I grew up very shy, very introverted. As I've gotten older, you know, I realized like not many of these opportunities really come along that often. And just the fact that we got to interview Ernie Hudson, you know, we got to interview Gargano, we've gotten to talk and meet so many people that I never thought I'd be able to talk or meet. It meant the world to sit down with one of my heroes and get to tell him like how he affected me and how he's helped me out. You know, I'm an advocate for mental health. I always say, like, listen to your loved ones, listen to your friends. Always reach out and genuinely do it. Don't do it because you feel like you have to, or, you know, the internet's telling you to do it. It should be, you know, like I always tell Rob, you know, with Mother's Day and Father's Day, like, people like that should be appreciated every day, you know, or on a regular basis. But going back to the interview, it's one of those things where you never know if you're ever going to get an opportunity like that again. So it's kind of one of those things where you take it, even if you're scared, even if you have no idea what to say, even if you're nervous. I don't know if you could tell, I was pretty nervous and pretty petrified during that interview because I had like a billion things going on in my head. And I know it gets overbearing because I talk about him all the time, but he really does mean a lot to me. And just the fact that he took time out when he didn't have to. The guy's such a true pro. He's such a professional. I got to talk to him in November when he did the meet and greet at Pandora's Box. Shout out to them.
Pandora's Box.
I got to thank him, and he said, of course, no problem, anytime. So can't really ask for a better hero. To those of you that look up to him or that consider Johnny Gargano a hero, meet him. Because I always say, I've always heard that phrase, never meet your heroes. Well, it does not apply to him.
That's it. I met mine just now.
Oh, stop it.
Something in my eye, bro. But very well said, man.
Yeah,
I appreciate you taking that focus. But something, and I know people are probably watching, these guys, you know, such marks, which we completely are. We love it.
My name's Chris, but I'll be Mark today.
Yeah, that's it, man. But I love the way we go about, you know, interviewing talent. I think we have a good reputation. We typically focus on the positive and promoting, and we're always just friendly with everyone. And I think, you know, having you there, you're always so charming with everyone, and you know, we're always so polite, and we have a good rapport with everyone, and I think that's what it's all about.
I think also too, we try to make it organic as possible.
Yes.
We try not to force it. Whoever's steering the conversation or whatever direction it goes, we try to just go with it. We try not to go off script, and I think that's why people like it, because they could just rip off. And we even tell them before the interview, like, hey, you can curse if you want. Hopefully it's not too overbearing, but you know, we try to make it as organic as possible.
It is, and thank you everyone again who have supported the show.
Yeah, thank you for the support. We are not worthy. Thank you so much.
No, we're very grateful. That being said, we're saying all this nice stuff. Now we got to get to these awards, right? And as I've noticed, as the show has grown, you know, we're putting a lot of these polls, you know, we're taking different, disclaimer here, we're taking different routes for different awards in the idea of fairness, whether we're talking amongst the BCP boys, the BCP crew, I should say. I've reached out to journalists from magazines and publications and websites. We have done online polls so the fans can get involved. So we've come to some decisions, and we're seeing a lot of comments and people trying to get their stuff in, and that's fine. We know where we are.
Everybody has an opinion.
Everyone
has
an opinion, and we are here to help and promote everyone, and I'm glad we were able to do that. So hopefully people will be very happy with some of our decisions, and let us know in the comments how you feel. We're going to talk about the national stage, and right out of the gate, we're going to talk about the male wrestler of 2022. This is the national brand. These are your WWEs, your AEWs, your New Japan, Impact, ROH, NWA, all that good stuff. So Noons, a little back and forth from us on this one.
Yeah.
Talk to the boys.
This
talk to
is
some
very
journalists.
tough.
Sports Illustrated's list just came out earlier this week.
Very interesting.
We had Roman at number 4, Mox at number 2, Seth Rollins number 1 on their list. Representing BCP 400 for the Bob Culture Podcast Awards. The Bobbies. I don't know if we're going with the Bobbies.
Yeah, we're definitely calling them the Bobbies.
The Bobbies. There you go.
There's going to be a trophy.
It's going to be a golden fish bobber. That's what it's going to be. I'll send those to you guys. We will be sending this for male wrestler of 2022, the Golden Bobby. It's going to go to John Moxley.
Mox.
The obvious decision, guys, chiming in the chat here. We're going with Mox because, Roman is the obvious choice. I believe he was last year's winner for us as well. That being said, I feel like the presence is a big part of it. Roman is the top double champion in the top professional wrestling company in the world.
Yeah.
Whereas Mox has literally carried the company on his back, got through rehab, which is amazing just on a personal level. Yeah, you got to shout that out. World champion in GCW.
Shout out to GCW.
Did he hold the gold in AEW, 3 times this year?
He's the only, I don't know if he did it all.
2 times.
He did it twice this year, but he's the only 3-time AEW champion.
And just literally putting that company on his back, and guys, let us know in the chat why you think it should be Roman or Seth. But I had to go with Mox. This was a tough one. I feel for all those reasons and more, he deserved it. He's making people look good on the regular. We were talking about the Top Flight versus BCC. We were talking about his match on Rampage.
Takeshita.
Amazing.
Oh my God. He's had such a variety of matches with a variety of opponents. They've all, he hasn't had the same match. It's not like, oh, here comes another, it's the same old Moxley match. He has different matches with different wrestlers, and everybody comes out looking better. Not even just him, his opponent. He can make stars if he wants to. He's at the position right now in his career where he looks good himself, but also too whoever he wrestles comes out better for it.
Yeah, very, very well said. And a lot of people might be saying, hey, it should be Roman. And it's hard to argue against that.
We were talking about it before, it might be a little voters fatigue just because Roman's been champion now for so long. But somebody that is WWE champion for a whole calendar, a Universal champion for the whole calendar year from January 1st all the way to December 31st. And then he became WWE champion in March.
He's doing his best stuff.
He's at his evolved form. He's at his peak. This is what WWE always wanted Roman to be, and this is what WWE fans and wrestling fans in general always wanted Roman to be. The Bloodline is an amazing presence. The whole thing with the Usos and Solo and Sami Zayn has just been amazing, but he's the head of that, the head of the table, so to speak. If people said Roman, I couldn't blame them. And I know he's been the top male wrestler for however long. But Mox is just, maybe it's not a sympathetic boat, but just the fact that real life happens, real life shit happens. And especially him coming out of rehab and him looking like $1 million. And then on top of that, just being able to carry the company when it was going through all this turmoil and people are saying that AEW's up and down. He's been the one of the few constants in that company. And I've never been the biggest Dean Ambrose / Moxley guy, but him being in AEW has made me a believer in him. I love how unapologetic he is. I love that he tells it like it is. He's doing his best work right now. And it's amazing to say this at this stage, how good he's doing and how good he looks. And how good he makes other people look too.
Very, very well said. And not taking anything away from Roman. I think Roman's the easy pick. For me, it's more about your presence. I want to see him wrestling more. And I understand he's being that champion who's fighting every 30 days, defending every 30 days. Although I think that may have caught up to him. I think it has been more than 30 days.
It might have been.
So we'll see how that plays out. WrestleMania is obviously going to be a lot of fun. We'll have our Royal Rumble show. We'll talk about that. Let's keep it moving here real quick. We'll throw out another one. The storyline of 2022 for the national brand WWE AEW. We are going to go with the Bloodline and Sami Zayn. I think hands down that takes it. We the ones that comical. Not only the comedy element of Sami Zayn, who was gold at WrestleMania with Knoxville and those characters.
That match was so much fun.
The guy's the MVP right now of,
he really
SmackDown,
is.
and he's making it funny, but also that tension of like, when are they gonna not necessarily turn on him, but when are they gonna kick him out? Or
when is he gonna do something, or when is the Bloodline gonna do something?
They're living on that tension. I just say keep it there.
Yes.
When everyone broke on TV, it was like the most SNL wrestling
Yeah, it really was.
moment. Oh my gosh, it's hard to top that. Unless you guys have something better, we got to go with Sami and the Bloodline being the best story. And there's a lot of great stories.
I can't really argue with you. I mean, what are some honorable mentions, you think?
Oh, there's so many things going on. I mean, just some of the stuff that Moxley's been doing. A lot of the stuff MJF has been doing.
I was just about to say, most of the storylines involving MJF this year have been very good.
Yeah.
The promos are just out of this world, man. He's so good.
The rise of the Acclaimed.
Yes.
So many things we could talk about. Bianca Belair's dominance. We'll talk about that a little bit. There's so much we could talk about. But right now, I just want to thank you, Goodest Brother, of course, for helping out with BCP 400.
Of course.
I hate doing this without you, man. I love that you're here. Thank you for making the time. We are far from done, guys. Again, donate. Look at the link in the description. We are fighting pediatric cancer with Mania Club, our friends over there. Connor's Cure. So much to talk about. And I just want to thank you all for tuning in. Please share the stream. And I just want to thank you all for including us in your day today on New Year's Day. We want to thank you so much for letting us work at your conventions. And, I've gotten some opportunities to work on the independent wrestling circuit as a commentator and backstage interviewer. And I feel that I've really just earned the respect of a lot of my colleagues.
You have, man. Very well deserved, man.
And let's take a look at a little something I call the respect reel. Let's take a look at it right now.
You have technically a 33.3% chance of winning that match. How's it feel going into that one?
How would it feel if I told you I had a 33.3% of putting my foot in your ass?
Lost to Nunzio, WWE legend.
Yeah.
Tonight,
I lost to Nunzio. I get it. Yeah, I know.
How are you feeling after that loss?
Pissed, clearly.
What are you gonna ask us for? Ask us some questions. Huh? Nerd.
And I might have to do some true commentary because Rob is the worst. He's impartial. Gonna get rid of him.
No. You gonna play. Shut your mouth. You gonna play. Before I'll bust you. Alright. Okay. Damn off.
Yeah, bro! He got so small! Harder! Yeah.
Been counted out. The official decision is a double countdown. Mind your business, Rob. Yeah, mind your business, Rob.
Come on. Bougie, come on. You're better than this, man. Come on. You don't need to do this. You don't need to do this. No, come on. Nope.
I didn't like that. You didn't like that? I didn't like that introduction. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children, creatures, freaks of all ladies and gentlemen.
I told you what I'm doing. I'm sorry. Are you hard of hearing? Is this kid dumb? Is this guy dumb? I'm dumb. Right? Tell me. You're dumb. Big dumb.
You're dumb.
You're dumb. Tell me to get out of here.
Big dummy.
Me.
99.9% accurate.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. Well, good.
All right, Goodest Brother. Just so many of my colleagues that just clearly respect me and love working with me back.
I'll get you a new helmet for next Christmas.
I appreciate it, bro. Thank you so much. Happy belated birthday, by the way,
Thank you,
man. Let's talk about our match of the year. This is going to be, of course, on the national platform again. We'll stick with those ones. We are going to talk about our indie match of the year as well. For me, we kind of talked amongst the group again. There's so many to pick from. Will Ospreay's name came up a heck of a lot.
Anything Will Ospreay this year. There's just one honorable mention from Forbidden Door. Him versus Orange Cassidy for the United States title, the New Japan Pro Wrestling United States title, I believe it was.
Dude,
that match was in a stacked card for Forbidden Door. That match was fantastic. I don't know Will Ospreay as much. I'm not really exposed to Will Ospreay as a lot of people are, but all the matches I've seen him in AEW were unbelievable.
Anytime you see him,
anytime you see him, he is absolutely insane. And the fact that he had neck surgery not too long ago is ridiculous how he's bounced back from that.
Yeah, and shout out to our old pals at Lives at Breeze for doing his old theme song. I missed that song. That being said, so we talked to a lot of people on this, guys. Let us know your picks in the chat. Not to say it's a divisive decision here, but there's a lot to pick from.
Yeah, there is.
Ultimately, we went with BCP 400. The award's going to go to the Acclaimed versus Swerve in Our Glory at All Out. I thought it was an amazing match. I remember we were all upstairs watching this one.
The crowd was completely insane. That's one of those matches where the crowd almost dictated the winner for it.
And just from the... And it was a solid pay-per-view, but from when that match started and the "Oh Scissor Me Daddy" chant started, Caster was just talking about it on Busted Open. Shout out to our buddies over at Busted Open. Dave, thank you for making time for the show. Shout out Dave LaGreca. We love Dave.
The nicest one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. What a silver fox that man.
Yeah, he is. He's a handsome guy right there. That being said, they said on Busted Open that the crowd was chanting that so long that they were trying to do stuff to kind of get them away from the chant.
And it was nothing was working.
Yeah, which was awesome to have. But just Bowen selling that knee injury, we were in the room with people who came up with Bowens and stuff like that. They were legit convinced that he was. We were kind of worried that added that element. Caster lifting up Keith Lee, obviously always that tease of dissension between Swerve and Lee at that point in time. I felt they should have called it in the ring, and I felt that they should have had Max and Bowens win. In the ring there. Obviously they waited to the hometown, so we got to see it.
Yeah, we got to see. So selfishly, I'm like, okay, I'm kind of glad that they waited, but
had they won there, I thought that would be easily match of the year. That's the match of the year I went with, and the guys we talked about it with. But there were a couple other good ones. Before we get to that, congratulations to the Acclaimed, Swerve in Our Glory, very well deserved. Thank you for entertaining us. Check out our interview with Anthony Bowens, one of our favorite.
He's such a gentleman, such a good dude, really nice guy. I'm so happy for all his success. Very well deserved. 5'2" player.
Let's just do it. Here we go. But congrats. We had to do it.
And so Daddy Bob.
That's it. Never say that again. Nunes, but you had another top contender, man. And argue in the chat, guys. Let us know what you think.
So I never thought I would say this, especially after how many times they've wrestled each other. Especially, this isn't the first time they wrestled each other this year. What is this, like their 6th or 7th match that they've had?
Yeah.
But my pick for match of the year, and it's not necessarily the best match, but I also compare it to Rock Hogan from WrestleMania 18, where it's not the best match, but the moments in it were just incredible. Those are some of those moments that you'd never forget. And I remember watching Roman and Brock from SummerSlam being like, I've never seen anything like this.
Yes.
I've never seen someone come to the ring in a tractor. The whole ending to that match was ridiculous.
And you got to know how to drive a tractor.
Yes, you got to know how to drive it. Small little underrated moment where he throws the mic to Roman, and Roman does not even. It's almost like Roman had a spider web in his hand. He just caught it.
The force.
Just amazing. And then Theory trying to cash in the Money in the Bank. Paul Heyman going through the table with an F5, them literally burying Brock under debris, and it was just an insane scene. I've never seen anything like that. Like it may not have been the best match, but just overall, it's just And again, I never thought I would be saying this with Brock and Roman because, like I said, what is it, 6th or 7th time they've wrestled each other? Mm-hmm. But I remember I was in the process of moving, and I literally stopped what I was doing because I was like, I have to. You and I were going crazy for this pay-per-view because last year's SummerSlam was not the greatest. So when we sat down and watched, all right, this should be good, and that match really surprised me. I don't know if it was just the shock factor of it all, but every time somebody says, "What's your match of the year?" that's the first thing that pops in my head because it was just, I'll never forget it.
Yeah, and I remember you said it. You were packing up before you moved out of here, and we just kind of stopped.
I literally had to stop what I was doing because I was like, I can't take my eyes off the TV.
And Roman's sell on when he lifted the ring up, like when he rolled back, because it could be, everyone did it safe. It could have been very dangerous.
It could have been really bad.
But that definitely, and that could definitely go into the OMG moment category as well.
But we know what that is.
We'll talk about that in a little bit. I did want to shout out real quick, Nunes, and thank you for coming over, man.
Of course, man.
It was good seeing your face.
Course.
I want to shout out our indie match of the year as well. So many top contenders. The names Speedball Mike Bailey kept coming up. Darius Carter in several.
The Allfather.
The Allfather. That's it. Check out our interview with Darius. Shameless promo. Guys, before we get to that, I just want to say one more time, please, got $1 or $2. Hit the link. You'll see in the description. We're fighting pediatric cancer here. Put BCP 400 next to your name so we can tally everything up. We usually do pretty good with these little fundraisers we do every year. Thank you guys so much, Mania Club and JimmyV.org for helping out. That being said, we're going to talk about our indie match of 2022. Goodest brother. I gotta work cams on this one, so I gotta follow it very closely. Maybe a little bias on this one.
I mean, I can't blame you.
But that being said, involving some of the best independent wrestlers here in the Northeast. Disclaimer: we are very Northeast based here. It is hard to keep track of everything. We very much try our best. If we miss people, I apologize. We really try our best.
Yeah.
But a lot of winners in this one, and I felt not only that it was fair, but the amount of storytelling in this one, the amount of spots and moves, the amount of people involved. Sometimes those multi-man matches can get very messy, and those aren't my favorites.
Yeah.
This was very well executed. It didn't just spill outside the ring. It spilled outside of the building. I'm running around Ridgefield Park, the mecca of professional wrestling, outside the building saying, how far does this camera signal go? And these guys are suplexing each other on the grass, but it all made sense. It was fun. It ended with a turn within a faction, and we're going to talk about that faction being TakeOver versus the Goons at Invictus Pro Wrestling Magnitude event. Very well deserved. We'll get that graphic up there. Bougie, PJ Savage, the Faceless Ones. We got Big Dust. We got AK, Miles. We got Rob Radke, Killian McMurphy, the whole crew, Big Dust, just everyone. You have a multi-man match like that. Jay George popped up at some point. Very wild, but very well deserved. And that kind of involved the fall of TakeOver, where we saw Bougie, that perfect ending where Bougie allowed, accidentally hit his partner, but allowed his partner, Jocko, to get pinned. PJ on the outside just with his jaw dropped, and that was kind of the end of TakeOver. But what an entertaining match, guys. Go watch that on IWTV. I think you see where we're coming from with this one. Very entertaining, some great spots. A lot of OMG spots, and check that out, guys. Congratulations. And speaking of OMG, we're going to go to our OMG moment right now with our good friend, BCP correspondent, and someone from Mania Club, Miss Kelly Hopkins, with our OMG moment.
Hi everyone, here to tell you just a little bit about Mania Club. This gives you great opportunities through auctions as well as fun donation trains to donate to Connor's Cure through their V Foundation link. To find out more, go to either Mania Club through Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. Now I'm here to announce the OMG moment of professional wrestling for 2022, and that is going to go to Cody Rhodes returning to WWE at WrestleMania.
All right, thank you, Kelly, so much for submitting that video and telling us a little bit more about Mania Club. Of course, the OMG moment, you got to give it to Cody Rhodes.
Unbelievable.
Returning.
Just I get goosebumps every time I think about that moment. And it's one of those things where, like, you kind of knew it was going to be Cody, but when his theme song hit and the crowd was going crazy and his entrance and he's coming up and he's got the light on him and it was just so perfect.
You're going to hear that
Oh, it's so cool.
He was like, this is actually going to happen.
Oh,
and
man.
The amount of plays that, the name of the band escapes me, that did his theme song, Downstreet.
Yeah, Downstreet did the Mrs., right?
I believe so, yeah. They've done so much stuff since. Shout them out. But the fact that song that had been on AEW for years skyrocketed, like the amount of plays,
it's
song
wild.
Spoke volumes. So
and
it's hard to top that moment.
And then especially credit to Seth Rollins too for making Cody's comeback even more than he was the right opponent to give Cody, and they made each other look great. And the promo the night after with Cody was just it's the icing on the cake. How can you not want him to win after the comeback? And then I never thought I'd see Cody in WWE ever again. Did you? No. Like, I never thought that this would happen.
He started. He was
it's ridiculous.
In AEW, but that's kind of the fun of it.
Yeah.
It's really cool, and I remember watching that over and over again.
Yeah.
His promo was great, and there were so many great moments I want to take away from that. We mentioned the tractor with Brock.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff Sting was doing.
Oh, God. It's 2022.
Can we just say he gets the You Still Got It award?
He has to. No one else gets it, because...
Cool Dad Sting.
Just seeing Sting wrestle in 2022... being a little kid, if you would have told me that, I would have never believed you. It's ridiculous at 62, 63, that, you know, he really does still got it.
Yeah.
It's amazing to watch.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We have some more awards coming up. Real quick, again, guys, thanks for tuning in.
Thank you so much.
We put together a nice show for you. We got some more musical performances coming. We got some more guests coming on, some special guests. I'm excited for a special interview we got coming up next. But I do want to talk about, real quick, before we talk about the charity and all that stuff again, let's throw out some thank yous again. I try not to just do this thing where we thank everybody, but just off the top of my head, just got to thank Parker Kane Promotions for always
some good dudes over
just
there.
working with us hand in hand, letting us interview their talent.
So
always
appreciative.
Going the extra mile for us, getting the swag. We appreciate you guys.
Always about the swag.
That's it. Funkenstein Wrestling Superstore for sponsoring the show for the whole year.
Yes.
Our favorite store.
Love you guys.
Guys, check them out. Englishtown Flea Market online.
And they allowed us to do their commercial for them, which is one of the
highlights.
Honestly, one of the biggest honors for. I tell Dan all the time. I was like, it really was. It sounds cheesy, but it really was an honor to because that commercial represents them. Like when they put that out there, this is what they show people to come to the store. It's just and being a customer there for over 10 years, it's just so cool that I was allowed to be a part of that. It's such an honor.
It was great. Shout out to Jeff Cannonball who knocked it out.
And he knocked through the door too
as well. Got to shout out all the great promotions that let us work with them or
yes,
work
thank you so much.
The list goes on and on. Our fam, you got to shout out Val, Kim, Melissa, Azalea.
Yes, please.
Our fam, Shane Fair. We love that guy. GoPro, who have always just taken me under their wing and helped me learn about production.
Again, such nice people.
Yeah, great. Check them out in the Acclaim's latest music video. I saw Macho Frank in the video there, so we pop big for that. Just thank you, everybody. Chad Minez, Chad Clark, Baltimore Celeb Fest.
Yes.
The list goes on and on and on. Thank you guys so much. I'll try not to rattle off any more names. But we do got to give out an award. Let's talk about our series of the year. This would be your TV or streaming series of the year. Guys, it's no surprise here. It's got to be Stranger Things season 4, Noons, right? It was amazing. We literally stayed up binging this thing.
It's some of the most invested that I've ever been in a show in my whole life. Like that episode with Max running towards.
Spoiler alert! If you haven't watched it.
Oh yeah, sorry. This is the spoiler section. Yeah, with Kate Bush playing. Which, by the way, I'm gonna admit I had never heard that song before this series, and it's from the '80s. People are very surprised by that, but I've never heard that song. I was literally yelling at the TV. It's so
I remember
that season was so compelling, and we say it every year. Especially you've said it before. It's like that first season was perfect. And then you get a second season, you're like, oh, I don't want them to mess it up. They kill it. And then the third season, when it's in the mall, it's like, oh, are they going to get too cute? Are they going to do too much? They killed it. And then this season especially, I think they said next season is the last season, Stranger Things 5.
I believe so. I don't know how they're going to do it. Is it a time jump?
It's some of the most compelling TV I've ever watched. I mean, I'm pretty biased because I love the 80s, but it's also, too, the way the characters are written, and they got the kids casted at the right time, so we're kind of growing with them. It's an amazing TV show. I can't say enough good things about it. All the characters are well written, and they did so much in such little time. Like how the last episode was like 2.5 hours, right?
Yeah.
We literally stayed up and binge watched it.
It was worth it, man. I didn't want anything to get spoiled.
No, I didn't at all, and I'm very surprised that we did not get spoiled.
It's one of those shows, real quick too, that once the first season came out, I'm like, I'm not watching it. They shouldn't do anymore because it was so perfect. Second season was great. Third season was great. Fourth season was stellar. They keep proving me wrong. I can't complain. Let's see if they tie a little bow on this thing. It should be great.
And they keep introducing new characters, which is insane. And they make it work.
Yeah.
Vecna was amazing. It was such an amazing villain. Like I can't say enough good things.
Speaking of which, the amazing villain. Well, guess what? Your villain of the year.
Spoiler alert.
No spoiler. It's going to be Vecna from Stranger Things. And I'm ashamed to say that I did not put all the pieces together soon enough to see the curve, the way that scene, again, spoiler alert, guys, if you haven't seen season 4, the way that curve came into play and the way they slow played it and brought it back to everything in the one, I think it was the 4th or 5th episode, was masterful. And I should have seen it coming.
And I think it's called Dear Billy, the episode. It's some powerful stuff, man. Like Sadie Sink as Max, just incredible. They introduced her in the second season, and I didn't think, with the exception of the original 4 kids, I didn't think I would like anyone as much as that core of characters, but every year they always get you with something, whether it's Steve Harrington with the face turn, whether it's, Sadie and Matt and Sadie, Max and 11 getting along at the mall and having a fashion montage. It's just they get you every year with something new.
That's it, man. And guys, again, got to shout out the charity real quick. Guys, if you're thinking about it, hit that link, Mania Club. Please donate. This is what it's all about.
Hey everybody, I'm Preach. My friends at the Bob Culture Podcast are doing something really cool. BCP 400 is working with Mania Club, who works with Connor's Cure and JimmyV.org, and they are raising funds to help fight pediatric cancer. Now, you're about to see a video for my song, Greyhound. I wrote this about a year ago, and it's about feeling lost, which I feel like we all do. So the link for the donations will be on the bottom. Please click that link and donate whatever you can, and let's help fight pediatric cancer. Thanks, guys.
Greyhound bus gotta pick me up and take me away. God in a bar on 5th and Main, and he asked me what am I supposed to say. You know that I didn't have an answer. I didn't have a clue. I've been waiting my whole life for something to come. Maybe it just drove on by. Greyhound bus gotta pick me up know that I didn't have a clue. I've been waiting my whole damn life for something to come through. Maybe it just drove on by. Drove on by. Greyhound bus, pick me up, take me away.
Hey fam, back here on BCP 400 for Mania Club. See the logo up there, guys. Gotta say it again, please donate. Shout to Preach for putting together a little music for us. You guys all know Preach, training at the ROH Dojo. A legend really here on the scene and a heck of a musician. I still have yet to see him at a venue play live, but I've seen so many great videos and heard so many great things. I had to ask him to play. So thank you, Preach, of course, for performing. For BCP 400, real quick, guys, I'm just jumping on. A lot of stuff obviously was pre-recorded from before throughout the week. I just wanted to jump on real quick and just thank everyone for donating so far. We have a ton more awards for everybody. We have a lot of cool stuff coming up. But real quick, let's talk about some, indie music. And we got to give our indie band of the year real quick. We're just going to knock these out real quick. Got to give it to our friends over at Backyard Superheroes who have done an amazing job on the local scene over the years, but especially coming out of the pandemic, really just firing up, playing these big stages, opening for some of these big acts, and have always been very helpful to the show. They were a big part of BCP 300 last year. So big shout out, Backyard Superheroes. You are our 2022 Indie Band of the Year. Real quick, we also got to talk about some of our breakout, up-and-coming indie stars of 2022. This was a tough one. This is really tough. We always keep our eye on the up-and-coming talent. And for the males, we're going to go with the son of the sun, Leo Sparrow, and that's right, we're going to have two. I try not to do this so much, but they are in a tag team, and they both very well deserve it. It's got to be GKM. Gil, congratulations. These guys have been traveling the country, literally up and down. We see them constantly on AEW television. We see them constantly on WWE television, whether they're being beat up by Omos, whether they're security, whether they're in the ring with the likes of Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar. So proud of these guys, not only what they do here on the independents, but their hustle, their heart, their hard work, and they're just really good guys, and they're very deserving of this award. So the indie male of 2022 is going to be two people. It's going to be Birds of the Sun, Leo Sparrow, and GKM. Very, very well deserved, guys. And as for our female indie up-and-comer, it's going to go to Warriors of Wrestling's own Jade, who has had a stellar run in Warriors of Wrestling. We've seen her at Goddesses of War, as well taking on some of the TV names, but also being a very long-reigning Warriors of Wrestling Women's World Champion. I don't know if she is the long, she might be. But also the Ultimate Survivor winner, being able to challenge for the heavyweight championship over at Warriors. So Jade, up and comer, very well deserved. We've also see her on WWE television on Raw as well. So we're giving that to her. I'd like to see Jade wrestle a little bit more outside of Warriors as wrestler on the come up. But Jade, congratulations for our indie up-and-comer of the year. Real quick, I just want to rattle off. We do something every year, our BCP Hall of Famer. We have our BCP Hall of Fame already. And last year we give it to Chad Minez, who is just, this show doesn't happen without him, has given us so much opportunities. But I really had to think long and hard about who this award went to for BCP 400. And it has to be someone who is somewhat synonymous with the show, someone who's always been there for the show. And me personally, definitely helped out a lot as well. And, I'm thinking of all these bands that we worked with and wrestlers we worked with and people that have worked with us. And I got to give it to one of the hottest free agents throughout 2022. He was signed with MLW. Now he is one of the hottest free agents, collecting gold all over the independents. One of the biggest names on the independents. He's had tryouts with some of the biggest companies in the world. There's no doubt in my mind he will be on your TV screens very, very soon. And that's our good friend, Mr. Casey Navarro, as the BCP Hall of Famer for 2022. Casey, you deserve it. I know you're still very young in your career, and Hall of Fame sounds kind of silly, but you have always given us time. You've been on the show 3 or 4 times. You've always made time for us, whether you were on the biggest platforms, whether you were just passing through and you had to be somewhere. You always took the time for us. When I was going through a hard time, you checked in on me. I told you what was going on. You were very kind. We even had a nice chat. We did a nice interview as well. You brought Tasha Steeles along. Tasha's also been great to us too. So just Casey Navarro, our BCP Hall of Famer, very well deserved. And thank you for everything, man. And guys, without further ado, let's go to some other awards with some special guests. Let's check it out right now on BCP 400. Donate, guys. See the link. You know what to do.
Is it on? Yeah, we're rolling. Are you sure? Guys. Can you believe that Rob is trying to do this show without me? Not even an invitation. Do you know who I am? I am the one, the only, the goodest sister, a pillar of the Bob Culture Podcast. You know, Mike thinks he's so perfect, but I'm a pillar and he's not. And we are here for a special edition of the Kimmy Takeover Podcast because, guys, we are celebrating the Bob Culture Year-End Awards and Rob's 400th episode. Now, Rob, I'm just going to say, I'm going to be nice this year. It's the holidays. We're in the giving spirit. Thank you for allowing me to come on your podcast. Thank you for allowing me to interrupt you. I genuinely appreciate it. But enough about me, because that's not what we're talking about, because we are presenting the Female Superstar of the Year. And this year there has been so many amazing women's matches, so many amazing women's wrestlers, but there could only be one who could win the Female Superstar of the Year. And although my bestest pal, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, is not winning this award, I am proud to announce that the Bob Culture Year-End Awards proudly presents Bianca Belair with the Female Superstar of the Year. Bianca has held that Raw Women's Championship for so long. She has also put on stellar matches the entire year. As you see, the fans in the arena are cheering. So, from the Bob Culture Podcast to you, congratulations, Bianca. To everybody watching, happy holidays, happy new year, and more importantly, get ready for more Kimmy Takeovers in 2023.
Hey everyone, Mr. Perfect Mike Mueller here to present the best tag team of 2022 for the Bob Culture Podcast. There's a lot of tough competition this year, but there can only be one winner, and I can't think of anybody better than myself to present such a prestigious award. So here we go, the official best tag team of 2022 for the BCP. Wonder who it can be. I'm nervous, are you? Let's see. 7-star FTR, and I can't think of a better representative for 2022. These guys had amazing feuds with the Lucha Brothers, the Jacksons, and of course the Briscoes, not to mention their unbelievable match that they had against each other. These guys do nothing but put out 5-star, 6-star, 7-star matches, and it's an honor to have them as the 2022 Tag Team of the Year.
Hey everybody, happy holidays. It's your old pal, the General Manager and Zebra King, SP Anderson, and I'm here to announce the 2022 Indie Tag Team of the Year. Before we get to that, of course, I want to give a shout out to the BCP 400 for Mania Club and the fight against pediatric cancer. Pretty sure that's a fight we can all join in against. But to the main event, the Indie Tag Team of the Year for 2022 is... Open the old piece of paper here. All right, my guys, Waves and Curls. Congratulations, guys. The 2022 Indie Tag Team of the Year. Happy New Year, everybody.
Wrestling fans, I'm Alphonse Stevens, the voice of many independent wrestling promotions in the state of New Jersey, and I'm here on behalf of the Bob Culture Podcast, and we want to shout out the cause BCP 400 for the fight against pediatric cancer. And I'm here to present the Male Wrestler of the Year award for the Bob Culture Podcast, and that award will go to, according to my notes, Mr. Darius Carter, the All-Father himself. And I hope everybody's had a great 2022. Can't wait to see everybody for 2023. Once again, your Male Wrestler of the Year, the Bob Culture Podcast, is the All-Father Darius Carter.
And fam, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention our indie feud of 2022, and that's going to go to, and we did an online poll here, and there were some great feuds. We saw Vargas, the rise of Vargas right now. We saw the rise of Genocide over in Mission Pro, climbing that ladder, having great matches with the likes of Holiday to become the Mission Pro champion. So many things. Steve and Alex Ryman have had a great feud that culminated last night in a stellar 3 Stages of Hell match. Just the storytelling from Steve and Alex, particularly Alex taking the time with his backstage interviews and coming on the show, really just going the extra mile. I was, again, in the idea of fairness, I was somewhat involved. So again, we went to an online poll for this one as well. We got to talk about Lala versus Isaiah Wolf, which transcended one company and went throughout many companies, and they would pop up everywhere. Seemingly Prolific and Lala are on the same page right now. So I'm interested to see where that plays out. Should be very interesting, but so many great feuds. The rise and fall of TakeOver, we could talk about that as well. So many great feuds. I am appreciative of the long-term storytelling. Got to shout out Big Dust, Mary Beth, Tommy Vex, The Love Triangle. Guys, if you haven't seen that, I'll have to share the YouTube link on my page. Maybe if I have time, I'll throw it in the comments here, but great Love Triangle arc. I love the Goons. I love the stuff Dust does. Tommy Vex, all of them, just a ton of comedy, but a ton of against the grain kind of stuff, different storytelling stuff, which culminated in a wedding, which is amazing. I had to talk about to Dust about that, and he was just happy about how everything came out. So many stories. We could go on and on. Carter, Ocasio, or over at Warriors. There's so many things. Like I say, I'm sorry if I'm forgetting anyone or leaving anyone out. There's so much wrestling, guys. We're trying to shine a spotlight on everyone as best we can. That being said, we felt it was fair to go with an online poll in this one. And we are going to go with the people have spoken. And the winner goes to, it's going to be Lala versus Isaiah Wolf as the indie feud of 2022. Congratulations. Very well deserved. Lala, on a personal note, you almost made me cry yesterday when you won the title at Pro Wrestling Magic. Congrats. Happy birthday, Lala. Very well deserved. And guys, just very happy for you. Thank you to everyone who voted. And we'll get the graphics up later. We'll post the graphics, get a nice little graphic. It was a busy week, a lot of wrestling this week. All right. But that being said, congratulations to everyone. I also did want to shout out the wrestling community coming together real quick for something we did for our pal Justin Carino's kid, Justin, who's battling leukemia right now. We'll share the GoFundMe in the comments as well. Again, this what we're doing for Mania Club here is also fighting against pediatric cancer, but we did some auctions. We sold some stuff thanks to our friend Emil Menard, who donated so many great items that we were able to ship out and raise a lot of money for the GoFundMe for the Carino family. So I want to do something fun for that to kind of bring the wrestling community together, because it's always so divisive, with the promotions or promoters or lines in the sand or whatever it is. And at the end of the day, we all show up, we do our job, we're independent contractors, and it's a community. And when one of our own is in need or is going through something, I know when I was going through something, a lot of the wrestlers were there for me. So I felt it was important to kind of do a little something. So thank you to all the wrestlers who took time for our little project here. I'm calling it the Championship Challenge, hashtag Justin Strong. Check it out right now.
why I beat Nikki. I beat her.
All right, fam, and of course, thank you everyone for being a part of BCP 400, some of our favorite people from the indie wrestling scene and parts of the show as well. Thank you guys so much again for taking time for BCP 400 for the cause. We appreciate y'all. Real quick, I just wanted to say, we got to shout out our indie female performer of the year as well, to avoid any sort of bias, especially coming from our camp for sure. We try to call it down the middle. We try to keep it impartial as our commentators often try to do, as journalists often try to do. That being said, I have to say this. We went to an online poll. We felt that was the fairest way to go about this. And I think it was about 600 votes in a matter of a couple days, which is great to see. People getting over 100 votes. It was really, really cool to see. So thank you guys for weighing in. But the indie female of 2022 goes to Miss Erica Lee, the Super 8 winner, a former heavyweight champion in Pro Wrestling Magic, a heavyweight champion over in ECWA now, I believe. She was also in our Feud of the Year last year with the Goons. So Erica Lee, we've seen her on AEW Dark several times. Always just very amazing in the ring, but always very comical as well. One of our favorite interviews was with Erica, so check that out in the archives. Erica, our indie female of 2022, very well deserved. We'll get the graphics up later. I had a busy week, all right? And guys, that's pretty much our show. Thank you for tuning in. I know it's a football Sunday. Let's go Giants. But thank you guys so much for making the time today. It's been a very busy weekend. You can see the circles under my eyes and my hair's getting grayer by the moment, but I appreciate y'all making the time. Please keep donating throughout the week to Mania Club. Just put BCP 400 next to your name. And again, $1, $2 if you got $1 to spare. It all adds up. Not to be cliche, but every little bit really does help in the fight against pediatric cancer. Thank you, Mania Club, for letting me work with you. They do great things. If you haven't already followed the Mania Club page over on Facebook, they're doing great things, but there's a lot of opportunities to get signed merch from WWE Superstars, meet and greet, special access, special Christmas cards, birthday cards from WWE Superstars, with all the fundage going directly to Mania Club, and that's through jimmyv.org. So no money goes through us. Again, guys, donate directly to the link in the description and the comments. Please continue to donate throughout the week. Thank you guys for all the support of the show. It's a little passion project of ours where we get to talk to our heroes and put a spotlight on a lot of the up-and-coming talent and talk pop culture. And I'm trying not to do the big thank you thing, but seriously, thank you to everybody that has watched or supported or given me or the boys or the team opportunity. Got to shout out Kimmy, who has just come so far in her journey and is going to surpass all of us and completely just ignore us when we call. But Kimmy's going to go very, very far. Editor-in-Chief, hashtag Data Instincts Bill, we love you. Thank you so much for taking us all under your wing and giving us the Pop Break platform and teaching us how to be good, integritous journalists. I may have made up a word there. I'm still working on the journalism thing. Bill, thank you for everything. The big cat, Matt Wittes. Our guy right there, who is just a fantastic writer and very, very smart about the business. Vac Attack, who came up with the phrase Bob Culture. And we have a new little Vac in the world. So congrats, Mike and Megan, for that. We're very happy for you. The Nooner, you saw the little love fest earlier. I hate doing interviews without him. He is the heart and soul of the BCP. He's so charming and good with everybody. Amanda, Mike, everyone that's part of the team, you guys add so much to our panels. We call Mike the Mr. Perfect. And Amanda, we appreciate your focus on women's wrestling and all you do with Mission Pro as well. And just everyone who's, everyone, I hate to be like cliche into this whole end of the year thing, but I hope we had some fun. We raised some money. Thank you to everyone, all of the Chads, all of the promoters, Steve Off over at Pro Wrestling Magic. The wrestlers who always take time for me backstage, and make it easy to wrangle you. That's half the battle right there, who have made time for the podcast and just the positive vibes. And I guess on this note, I know it's like New Year's, everyone's making their resolutions and stuff, and I'll just take a page out of the Goodest Brother Nunez's book. It's, make every day a special day. Make those resolutions every day, love your mom every day, not just on Mother's Day. And, do good. If you have a platform, use it. for something that's not for yourself. You know, I know we all got to get our stuff in. We're all competing for the same spot, so to speak, but use your platform, ladies and gentlemen. And right now, guys, donate to Mania Club. Guys, and like we always say here on the BCP, everyone stay safe, stay positive, take care of each other. We out. Peace.